It's tea time. Tea time. So, today I'm going to talk about what happened in my day of 9/11/2001. This is one horrible day. If you don't know the whole history, please, please, please look it up. It is a huge day in our history of America. Lots and lots of people passed away on this day in about 4 different sites and buildings on that day. Also, it was my dad's birthday, and I totally forgot his birthday on this day. So, let's start from the beginning. It was a normal day. I just went to school. I was in 7th grade. I'm showing my age. Oops. So, I was in 7th grade, and I was in Miss Conyers' class. That was my math and my science teacher, Miss Conyers. When we got there, everything was normal. We just doing math and everything, and she gets called out to class. Normally, when our teacher gets called out to class, it's like, a couple minutes. They got a couple of things to say, No, it was like something really long. Longer than usual. So all the kids sitting looking around like, is she going to come back? What we getting ready to do? Is everything okay? And she comes back in with this look on her face like she looked totally distraught. And she tells us to go to the cafeteria. So we all get up. Whole school pretty much piles in the cafeteria. My school was, it's called World Communication Charter School. I was in 7th grade. Like I said, it was a half middle school, half high school, and the school is still there. So you can go and see it, go visit it, whatever. It's still there. It's on the corner of Broad and South Street in Philly, because at the time I was in Philly. And I just remember going from the classroom to the lunchroom and just sitting there and waiting. All the teachers were lined up against the lockers, and a couple of them were called on to speak about what just happened. And they told us that a plane crashed at the Twin Towers. There was no TVs or anything in there. Like, we didn't watch it on TV. There are some schools they found out and they watched it on TV. Other places they didn't hear about it until they left. Like, I later lived in Virginia, and they didn't talk about it or hear anything about it until they got home. Which I thought that was sad, because what if your parent worked at the Pentagon or something? Because you're right there. Like, everybody in that area either works in a government site, on the base, in the military, or they work in DC. That's the whole area. That's a DMV area. So everybody in that area was just sitting around. They were just sitting there like it's a regular day. They told us to go home. I left school at 10 o'clock in the morning to get home. I didn't know what to do. And they told us not to take the subway, and they told us not to take the L, because the L runs underground too. They were scared they were going to bomb down there. They told us to avoid certain areas of Market Street because the stock exchange down there too. Every major city has a huge stock building where they do a whole bunch of trades. So the World Trade Center was the World Trade Center. Like, everything happened there. All your stocks were traded there. Right there. Major things were happening. There was I think a group of kids that were visiting the World Trade Center that day too. Anyway, backtrack. I was in the cafeteria, and I remember Miss Conyers just screaming out, "We're all gonna have to go to war! My husband's gonna have to go to war!" Ah! Like, pacing back and forth, and I'm just scared because I don't know what's going on, Like I said, we didn't see anything on TV. And I was with this girl. We lived not that far from each other. Her name was Dana. And we stuck together most of the time. Like, first thing in the morning, we would go to school together. We would ride the bus, ride the train and stuff. Sometimes we would meet up later on. Like, if she already took the bus, she would meet me on the L and wait for me on the L and stuff. Like, we would look out for each other because we lived in the same neighborhood, safety in numbers. I was with her the whole time. And I remember we walked around downtown for hours. We were used to taking the same route every single day. So as a kid, I don't know the full public transportation system. Like, I didn't know. So I'm walking around, reading every single bus that passed me, trying to see, where is it going? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Everybody's downtown in a huge frenzy. Like, it looked like New York on a regular day, like Soho on a regular day, just going shopping. That's what downtown Philly looked like, and it never looks like that, ever. And if you don't know, like, the World Trade Center is close to Soho or around Soho, in Soho. I don't live in New York. I just been to Soho probably like twice, and I like that area. And I walked by the Freedom Tower as well, which is where the World Trade Center used to be. I actually have a really nice picture of it too. It's a beautiful building. I also visited the year after, I think. Yeah, I think it was the year after it happened, and it was a huge memorial outside. We passed by it on a bus because I was in an academic summer camp, and we rode past it because everybody went to New York as a summer trip for, I forgot what year it was. I think it was like the 8th grade year or something, but it was just all these rest in peace signs, flowers. You literally seen a burned down building hidden by fences and stuff. Also, getting back, I ramble a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I ramble a lot. It all has to do with what I'm talking about, though, so that's kind of all that matters. Like, I'm getting back, and I go back. Anyway, by the time I got home, it was 5 o'clock. My mom was already home. She's sitting there looking like, why weren't you here? Oh my God, I'm glad you're safe. Yeah, it was a long day. Like, I ended up taking, I think I took the Spruce Street bus, which is the 42 in Philly. I took the 42, and I walked from Spruce Street to Lansdowne Avenue. That's probably like 10 or more blocks, something like that. I can't remember. But I definitely did walk a whole lot, because I tried to take the 46, which is the bus on 60th Street, which is where I used to live. See, back when I was in middle school, we had school tokens. Now in Philly, they have like actual student passes. But after a certain time, you can't use it. So after a certain time, we couldn't use the tokens. After a certain time, you cannot use your student pass anymore. You need an actual pass. You need some real tokens. You need a day pass. You need something. Because if you are no longer within the school hours, you can't use that pass anymore. So I had to walk home by myself in the cold. Yeah, it was cold then. It wasn't like all this weird global warming that's going on now. Like in September, it was cold. I remember being chilly. I don't remember being hot at all. I remember like actually having like a hoodie or something, walking around downtown. So, and then once I got home, so my mom knew I was okay and everything, and she was just sitting there staring at the news. So I sat down and watched it, and that's when I finally seen the Twin Towers get crashed into, and the Pentagon get crashed into. There was also another building that they said got hit. And there was, I believe it was called Flight 11. I think that crashed somewhere in Pennsylvania, and a whole bunch of people died there too. It was a sad day. It was a sad, confusing, it was just a whole emotional roller coaster. And then on top of that, I forgot my dad's birthday. I know it's not like life-threatening, or nobody that I personally knew passed away. My condolences to everybody who lost somebody that day. Prayers go out to your family. I know it's been probably, it is 2018. Now it's 2001, so 17 years ago. Oh my God. I know that was 17 years ago. However, nobody really gets over losing a loved one. I seen the other day like all these voicemails that people have from the last call their loved one made to them. It's sad. Like the last time you hear their voice, the last time they were there with you. One guy didn't even get a chance to pick up his phone. He was asleep. But it's like if he picked up his phone, he would just heard the same thing. And I don't know. Just remember this day. Because we lost a lot of people for a reason that I kind of still don't know why. It doesn't really make sense to me. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about the day too. There's a lot of holes in that day for me. As far as what happened, why it happened, who did it, who didn't do it, was it a setup, was it this, was it that. But the main fact is that we lost a lot of people that day. And it's like, for what? We lost kids. I mean, people took their lives because they had nowhere else to go. It was a toss-up between, am I going to burn to death be smothered by smoke, or should I take this into my own hands and let it be faster? Like, if I had a choice to whether to burn or die fast from jumping, I'd probably jump too. And then seeing these people jump and stuff, it's like, wow, like, to be in a situation like that is mind blowing. Like, what do you do? What do you do when everything is literally crashing down around you? I couldn't even imagine. Just have to make the best choice that you can make at that time. You can't be indecisive. You have to make a real choice, a real decision. Like, a firefighter got killed because of a person committing suicide by jumping. All the debris that was falling from people in different buildings that weren't even in that building died because of the debris that was falling, or even people that were jumping, the bodies that were falling from the building. Like, they was really, really tragic. Like, I still, it just, I have no words. Like, it's horrible. I said, my condolences, my respects to everybody who lost somebody. And I'm sorry, I don't have too much else to say. It was a hard day for everybody, I believe. That's me, my day on 9/11. Story time, tea time for today. You guys can hit the subscribe button. I totally appreciate it. There will be more videos coming soon. I normally have a couple up here, but there's gonna be plenty more. Like recording something new every single day. Be plenty more story times. I got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stories to tell you. Oh, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Please share and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.